Thank you so much for Chi for joining us for this interview today. I think the first question we have is to how do you find your voice and belonging? Based on your LinkedIn profile, it looked like you came to the US 2 decades ago. So at that time, there are even fewer Asian female who work in the tech, and diversity and inclusion are definitely not popular at that time. So we are very curious, how do you brave through this wilderness? How do you find your voice in the workplace, in the tech? Because we also did a quick survey, and many of us had the similar feelings that when we go into a meeting room, oftentimes we are the only Asian female in the room, and also the youngest looking one, because for Asian we never age. And also generally speaking, for Asian, where the culture we have is more quiet and more reserved, while in the US mainstream culture, it kind of favors outspoken. So just wonder, how do you balance and how do you find your voice?
Okay. Thank you, Alice, for having me. I think you asked a lot of good questions. Let me start from beginning. Yeah, these are all actually very good questions. If you think about, like just trigger me to start think about, oh, from the beginning of my career, how did I come to this state? Yeah, from the very beginning, it is hard. Not just you want to say something, you want to have opinion. Even if you have opinion, number one is it's hard to understand what others are talking about in the room. Sometimes it's just they use some phrases you don't know, right? And at that time, my vocabulary was very limited as well. And also the accent, we were used to what we heard in English corner, but it's never really put English in practice in talking to people. And only in the limited years in the school here, then we start to talk to people purely English, and it was hard, right? Like even if you listen to the professor's lecture in the class, it's limited. You have the textbook, so that can sort of help you, right? And they will not use all sorts of daily phrases that they normally don't. They just use these technical words, so it's much easier to understand. But when you get to work, many of those things they start to use those phrases, right? At that time, for example, I didn't even know like put the cards in front of the dog or something like that in front of a horse. Or like the tail wag the dog, or the squeaky wheel got the grease. And many of these phrases, just like, what? What did you say? So it was hard. I guess it's just a practice. It's like I watch English TVs in the night and try to catch up and try to hang out with native speaking friends, go out hiking with them over the weekend and, chat with them, work or not work. So it's just practice. There's no magic, just like a piano, like many other things, just time in it to practice. Now, when you gradually go over that language barrier, the next is how to share your opinion. A lot of time we will have this fear in our heart. It's like, am I wrong, right? Even today, it could be like, I might be an idiot if I should like appear like an idiot if I say it aloud, right? Like, what people will think about me saying that. So that's something, it's just over years of practice, put it aside, put it behind you, is just saying, hey, doesn't matter. Even if it's a stupid question, sometimes you can just say it up front, say, hey, I'm going to ask a stupid question. Here is this. So make people just like, sometimes you set the expectation so low, they will like forgive everything you say. Secondly is with, of course, right, we have to do a lot of work ourselves out of the normal working hour. If you just work 9 to 5, indeed, unlikely you will catch up, you will develop insight. You have to spend a lot of extra time reading, coding out of your, I do, I'm not saying everybody should do, but I do, because that's basic. And of course, like you, right, probably you have other skills you have to develop for your work. So everybody just have to spend a little work outside of the work time to enrich themselves, so that in the meetings, right? You can share some insight that you found out, on the blog post, on the internet, on the GitHub that others don't know. So that also build up the confidence of yourself in front of others.
Yeah, so that's very, very helpful. Thank you for sharing. So it turns out she also sharing the similar struggles at the beginning. So really no secret, just practice, practice, and practice. And definitely lots of hard work. And so, in addition to our work time, we also like spending some extra time to continue to dive deep and learning in the topics, especially you want to go ahead and share valuable insights from the industry. We need some, I guess that kind of like need some like with great passion to continue to learn even at off work hours.
Absolutely, absolutely. Alice, I want to share this one thing. If people forget about everything I say today, this one thing I want people to keep it and like remember is the passion takes a long way. Really, it's a passion. Like if you really think about it, it's the pay, it's a daily work, get exceed expectation, good rating at the review time, or make your boss happy. Nothing will sustain. It really is a passion, and a lot of time. I sometimes I say that, right? Like, yes, the resource is always limited. We are always under resource crunch. We never have enough people to do the things we want. But you will sometimes see the things that really cool things, right? That somehow just get developed so fast out of nowhere. Like it's not even properly resourced. But if with a bunch of people they're so passionate about something, they will get it done. Trust me, they will get it done. So eventually it is the passion that will take someone a long way. Like in my last few job switches, you can see it's actually always triggered by project. It's some project I wanna explore some new areas I wanna explore, and I like it. I have passion for it, so I did it. It's never about I proactively interview like tens or hundreds of companies to try to change, but it's always like some project there that make me feel, hey, I wanna give it a try.
Cool. Now that you mentioned passion, I'm curious, are you born with this passion in this field, or like okay, I see you. So what are some of the curious, what kind of some of the events that shape you to find your, like how do you find your passion?
Yeah, I don't think it's a aha moment or suddenly I start to have passion. It does go up and down sometimes, and over time, I think the more you are into the field, the more you know, and the more growth and many results coming out of it, then your passion get developed. It's not like you have passion all up front. It's a like kind of like a interactive, like a iterative, not interactive, sorry, iterative process. Like you first know something and you have passion to do something more, and then you find you need to know more, you gain more knowledge, and then you can do more. So gradually your like passion gets snowballed and grow bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So I still remember like before, I think 2011 or 12, right? When I joined back to Microsoft, we started to build this distributed build system. At that time, it was taking like, many hours to finish one build. I was like, I cannot be that developer sitting in front of a computer and stare at the screen, have nothing to do. So I decided to build this distributed build system. And we started with just the three of us. We start to measure things, explore around and find out where are the bottlenecks, what are the possible solutions, right? We know we'll go with distributed, but how do you distribute? The language itself is not distributed friendly, right? It's the language is written in a way that's only monolithic. Suppose every build job is done on a single box. So we start to explore, and 3 months later, three of us actually get a prototype. We bring down an 8-hour build to 20 minutes. That was right before the Christmas. We were like, oh, this is the best Christmas gift for ourselves. You see that happiness come, without the money reward, without anything, without promotion, anything. It's just like we're so happy and proud of our work. And of course, after that, we gradually grow that and grow to a bigger team and become a very successful project.
Yeah, so that's the kind of passion for a builder. You create something, you put your like how to say, you put your heart, sweat, and tears to this project, and then it's kind of like a positive feedback loop. So
Yes.
you do something good, you get like this kind of excitement, and it can continue to drive your passion going forward.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So aside from passion, the other one is curiosity. That's something I think I started to learn that when I first time joined Google. At that time, Google has a very good culture. Aside from many other ones, this one is very good. It says when somebody give you an idea, right, propose something, some idea, project, first don't say no, but that's a human nature to say no, like a human nature say, I don't know, it shouldn't work, like, the current way works perfect, but that no, that cannot work. But usually it is those moments that you miss the opportunity. So Google is asking everybody first, try to say, yeah, that's a good idea, not even really internalize it to actually agree with it, but first let's say, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So even use the word to give a positive signal to yourself to say, hey, it's an idea that's worth exploring. And then go ahead, take a look and see if it's actually good or there's places to improve. Because most ideas, they come from some motivation, some issue to solve. It's not like people just want to do useless work. Most people are smart, and smart people come up with ideas, usually try to solve problem. So usually it's actually a reasonable idea. You could help them join the force improve. So that actually helped me a lot. That there's a really mindset change, and then you start to be more curious. That grow your curiosity when things are not the way you want, or when something that you feel, hey, this sucks, I need to change. Don't just say it sucks. It is, oh, if it sucks, what can I do to improve? So that curiosity kicked in and really can take. It really took me in a long way.
That's interesting. I learned something. So basically, instead of jumping to say no, like change it to like a curiosity perspective. So kind of like feeling like we are a child again, just to that explorer mode, and to say, what else could we do? Okay, this is interesting. What can we do to make it better? So that just changed the whole perspective and changed the mindset to start. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. That's very interesting.